Already talking about summer, which is like another stressor, right? Oh boy, what are we going to do with these kids now?
Yeah, exactly. So just give us some advice, some ideas, and maybe what parents can start planning for.
Yeah, I think most parents are feeling like, we've had our kids home so much. Many of them just went back to school, and now we're going to be dealing with the summer. And while it seems like there's going to be more open and more options for camps and things, there are going to be families for whom that's not going to be an option. So certainly starting to think about what some kinds of fun activities might be at home is a great idea. And one of the things I really encourage families to think about is recreating some of those typical summer camp experiences at home. It doesn't cost a lot of money. It's pretty easy to come up with activity ideas. So if you think about things in the realm of like outdoor play, and we want kids spending time outside, and actually today's a great day to be talking about this because the weather's going to be so beautiful, but getting kids outside for a good portion of the day, things like arts and crafts, cooking, getting them helping you in the kitchen, for kids who like to do science experiments, construction projects, gardening, all of these kinds of things that we can take from summer camp experiences and have kids do them at home pretty easily.
So Dr. Bergens, I wanted to ask you, because I know a lot of families have different thoughts and opinions about, how much they should or shouldn't be doing. How do they deal with if the kids are thinking, I want to go do all these things, but the parents are like, maybe we shouldn't do that because we are still in a pandemic? How did they handle that dichotomy?
Yeah, I think that's tough, and especially for kids who see maybe lots of their friends or other kids going and doing things. And I think just like all the way along in this pandemic, it's important for parents to just handle that, honestly with their kids, to communicate what they feel comfortable with and what's going to be an option and what isn't, and ultimately to be okay with the fact that kids may not agree. But I think it's good to focus too on the fact that kids can have lots of great summer experiences, even if they're not going and doing those kinds of activities. So I think just having a real honest conversation about it is important. And I know one of the things that parents sort of dread heading into the summer months, and they've been dealing with it during the school year too, with the pandemic going on, but it's this issue of, what do I do when kids are complaining all the time of, I'm bored, there's nothing to do? So I have a couple tips with that. And the first is for parents to remember that it's okay for your kid to be bored sometimes. Even if your kid is going to be home all summer, your children are going to be around, you don't have to be a camp director and entertaining them constantly. It's good for them to go do things on their own, and you can provide activity ideas, but you don't have to be constantly entertaining. So one thing that I like to encourage families to do is create a board jar. This is a simple jar. You can have a bowl, whatever, and this just has slips of paper in it, and each of them has an activity, something that kids can do on it. So when kids come and they complain, I'm bored, there's nothing to do, you can have them pick something out of the jar. Some families also find putting a menu of activities on the fridge, and when kids complain about that, they can go and pick something off of there. So just to remember that you don't always have to be entertaining them, and it's okay to have them find things to do on their own.
I'm just going to repeat that over and over in my head this summer.
Well, and I've also found that the quickest way to get them out of boredom is to present some chore lists.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden, they're not bored.
They're like, oh, yep. Great.
Yeah, and you can put those in here too. So, some surprise chores in there. They may end up finding some things to do on their own the next time, huh?
There you go.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Well, we appreciate your time, and you can follow Dr. Nicole on Facebook and Instagram, always providing some great resources there as well. Thank you so much.